These are an underwater light that you can make at home to let you see what's in the water at night. We'll show you how to make a DC and an AC setup of the light, starting with the AC setup first.
Okay, so this is what I got to make the lights. We're gonna make all the cabling out of just an extension cord. We're gonna leave that on. We're gonna run this through the rigging tube because we're gonna cut the wire open and we're gonna attach that to an outlet. That outlet is gonna go in our box. This will probably go inside the console with that hooked up to this, which will plug into the generator. Then we'll use the remainder of the cord to then go, we'll put these plugs on there, and these plugs will then run the wire over to a piece of 1.5 inch PVC. That 1.5 inch PVC will slide into this, which is going to be mounted. We're going to epoxy these into our boat, and then that 1.5 PVC will slide into here. This is an adapter. It's going to go from 2 inch to 1.5 inch, and we're going to stick this thing on here like this, and then the 1.5 in there. We'll lightly tighten these so then we can push the 1.5 down and push the lights down into the water as we need. So that there are those for the adapters, and at the bottom of the 1.5 is going to be this right here, and this we'll just stick up into the 1.5 inch PVC, and then we'll electrical tape around it, screw our light bulb in, and voila, you've got this nice bright light. We're going to be using a 200 watt 3700 lumen light bulb to stick in here to give us like a 20-foot range of light that's in the water. Boat. I'm gonna go 2 feet. 2 feet. Cut this flat here, measure 2 feet, and then cut it so we'll make a 2-foot section, and then we will go ahead and put it together to make it for here, and put this box with our electrical into the console. Here, pull that off, Donnie.
I'm gonna need you to hold on to it, big
I'm holding.
Use your weight. There you go.
We're gonna have to trim this lip right here because it's too tight, and it's not letting our pipe slide the way we want it to slide. But you don't want to take this all the way off because you do want that to be able to hold it a little bit. So we're just going to shave that off with a knife. We're just going to take our wire here, we're going to send it down the tube, it comes out the bottom, strip them down, butt connectors, put our connector there, and we just need to go to black and white to white. And that's like that.
I was gonna say, don't you have to put that in first?
Drop that in the tube. And that's gonna just sit like that. I mean, really we can electrical tape it, but I'm gonna stick it in here first. Like that. So now we've got our socket. We're through the tube. Our wire's hanging out the top. I'm just gonna electrical tape this down here after putting a light bulb in it. Now for this, we need to put a cap on this And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna cut a slice down here so the wire kind of hangs down, and then stick this cap on it and put electrical tape on it. And that's pretty much it for putting the top on here. You can put a water bottle or anything, just anything to keep the water from coming out. It doesn't need to be perfectly all the way down. It's just kind of to keep the water from going down in there. Rainwater, mainly. There we go.
So usually you got a brass colored screw and a silver colored screw. The silver gets your neutral and the brass gets the hot. So the black wire is gonna go to our copper. Tighten that up. And then the white wire is gonna go to our silver screw. There you go.
All right, we got both of our lights set up, rocking and rolling here. These will just push down and then pull up. We got our wires ran over here. It goes into the console. There they are right there. Or these are just gonna plug into our receptacle, and that's how we're gonna power them. That outlet is going to be run from our generator that's gonna be in the back corner. Okay, this is just gonna be for testing purposes. We got both these hooked up. Got some power here. Donnie's gonna plug her in, and we're gonna see if our lights light up the way we want. We still gotta run this through our tube, but that's plugged in like that. Donnie, give us some power. See what happens. Oh, snap. Yeah, look how bright those are. And those are only 3,300 lumens. Those aren't like the 3780s that we normally put in there. And these things, boom, you slide them down, get them in the water. All right, and we got a green light on our outlet. So now we can take our lights and plug our lights in. Plug both of them in. Boom. So those are like that. Both our lights are plugged in, and we can actually bend these down so that we can shut this here door. That'll shut. Obviously, you can give a little bit more wire in there, but that's how that's going to kind of look. Clean this up a little bit, just let these sit down. I just had some extra wire to put in there, but there's our outlets, there's our plugs, here's our lights. It makes it a really nice, cheap system that is so effective it's not even funny. A lot of people want to know why we're using AC, not DC lights. The reason being because you're running a 13-foot boat with a 25 horsepower engine, and if you're running a GPS, you got a stereo going, you got the engine running, and you got your deck lights on, and then you want to put lights in the water and run all those too. If you're going to be out there for a couple hours, that's really risking it on killing that battery because you're consuming so much power. So the generator is basically a way to get around that. That way you can run your GPS, your stereo, and all your stuff off of your battery of your engine and not have to worry about the engine trying to keep up with charging that battery, which, you know, that's stressful on a 25 horsepower engine that's not built to make that much power. The generator is also a cheap and effective way of running lights and stuff if you want to put an inverter, or you could go with a second battery. For me, everybody that I know, they like to run the generator, so it just seems to be the better option if you're going to be out there for a while. And when you're doing it, you know, just for a hobby, you know, sometimes you may be out there for 5 hours, 6 hours, and if you're out there for 5 hours and you're trying to run off a group 24 battery, it's just risky. You know, if that battery dies, you're floating in a 13-foot boat, and then all of a sudden the weather picks up That's not really a good place that you want to be.
But if you want to use DC and you've got a larger engine or a spare battery specifically for the lights that you don't care if it dies, then you can do pretty much the same setup by using these cheap lights from Amazon. They're basically submersible dock lights, but you can take the same type of a PVC tubing and then add a clear tube on the end of it and hot glue the lights into the tube to make it sealed. But this way you can pull the whole assembly out of the holder when you're not using them, and they will just hook up like anything else on the boat that is running off of 12 volts.